Hey, how are you? I'm sorry it's so dark. This thought just came in my head, so I wanted to record this video before it gets too dark. Alright, so I'm always looking for work. I work for, if you watch my videos, you know that I am starting a few different online businesses. So check out those videos to see what I'm doing. But while those businesses are growing, I of course still need to pay my rent, pay my bills, survive. So I'm always on the search for work. So for a very long time, probably about a year, my resume had about 6 different employers on it. I noticed that ever since I changed my resume to make it look like I've only had 3 employers in the past 9 years, working for each of them about 3 years each, I've been getting way more phone calls, way more. I'm not guaranteeing that the same thing will happen to you, but I will tell you right now, this is what my wake-up call was, okay? A couple weeks ago, I applied to a job. The employer sent me a personal email. I got excited because I thought they were inviting me to interview with them. But no, it wasn't that. The person emailed me and said, why have you had so many employers in the past, I think they said in the past 7 years, why have you had so many employers? So I went on to explain to them why, in fact, I had had so many employers. After that, the person didn't respond to me. First of all, that irritated me because I was like, why? I was just thinking, like, why would you bother asking me that question if you didn't care to know the answer, you know? So I guess my answer wasn't good enough. The answer that took me about 5 minutes to type up. So instead of just getting irritated and not learning from the situation, I said, you know what? I said, let me learn from this. Because although I don't like the way the situation turned out, I did have to be responsible and think about it and say, wait a minute, if this employer basically thinks I'm a job hopper, by the way, I've been called a job hopper on an interview. Someone called me a job hopper. The employer called me a job hopper. So I've been called a job hopper in person before. This other employee looking at my resume assumed I was a job hopper. So I said, okay, obviously it's time to change my resume. So it's up to you, but this is what I did. What I did, I was honest with the way I did it, I basically removed some of the jobs and I squished the dates into one employer. So for example, I worked for 2 people in a span of 3 years, right? But I put it as one person. I put it as one employer. And here's what I did to make it, just in case they wanted to check it, this is what I did. I basically put on my resume that from 2017 till now, I've been working for myself. I have an online store, so I've been self-employed. From 2017 back to 2014, which is 3 years, I put on my resume that I work for my grandparents. The fact that I work for my grandparents, that is true, but the dates are not true. And quite frankly, you know, once again, this is up to your discretion, but this is what I had to do. And then further back from that, the dates and employer are true. I actually was with an employer for 3 years before that. So now, basically my resume went from being like 6, 7 employers to I think it's 4 now. And honestly, my resume looks way cleaner now. It looks cleaner. It looks less choppy. It just looks more put together. And honestly, it looks like a responsible person. Honestly. It looks like someone who can actually hold a job. Like, my resume looks so much better now. So that's what I learned from that experience. Even today, I got a couple phone calls from different employers. I'm gonna walk. You guys always catch me when I'm like crossing the street right here. But I got a couple calls from employers today and it felt good. Like, I've been getting calls all week. And honestly, when I was using that older resume, that was not the case. I'd be lucky if I got 1 call in a month. So that's my advice to you. If you find that you're not getting many phone calls, or even if someone's honest enough to give you feedback, even if you don't like their delivery, just think about their feedback for 1 second and think, okay, what can I learn from this? That's what I did. And ever since I took to heart what they said, ever since I actually listened to what they said, like, and really try to see how I could apply it to my life, I have been getting better results. That's my advice to you. If you're having a hard time finding work, play around with your resume a little bit. See if there's any way that you can kind of freestyle. You know, that's my advice to you. Quite frankly, I'm just honest enough to give that advice. A lot of people act like they don't do that, but best believe more people are lying on their resume than than you even realize, and I even realize. So that's my advice to you. That's what I did. I used self-employment. So you know what? When the job asks for a reference, it's you. If you claim that you've been working for yourself or for a family member, you or your family member are the reference. If you work for yourself, who's the reference? You're the reference, so they're not going to even bother. So it's genius. If you think about it, it's genius. Like, and it's been working for a long time for me. So that's my advice to you. And here's the thing. It's not completely untrue because I have been working for myself. It's just the dates. Oh shit, I almost got hit. It's just, this is why I hate these. Okay, I'm not even going to go there. This is why, okay, that's my point, guys. So have a great day. Have a great night. In the comment section below, let me and everyone know if you have any tips for getting a job. Like, what are some tips that you found to be helpful when you look for work? Like, what are your resume tips? Okay, do you have any resume tips? Have you ever done what I've done? So how do you find a job? How do you ace a job, getting a job? In the comment section below, let us know how you are able to find work.